Welcome back to Only Talk Sports, where we talk sports every single day, or at least we try to. Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. Week 2 in college football is almost over. There's some late games that I can't really go over here because I'm recording this before the end of the night. But Week 2 in college football, man, what a week. And there was some incredible games. I can't believe a lot of these results. Let's break them down. Hawaii and Michigan still on 56-10. UTEP 20, New Mexico State 13 in the fourth. BYU and Baylor, that's the big one. 10-6 BYU's over Baylor. Oregon State's beating Fresno State 14-10 right now. And Mississippi State is beating Arizona 15-7 going into the second quarter. But now let's break down all the games that did happen already. Ohio State, Florida, Arkansas State 45-12, no shock. Alabama, I made a recap of this game. You can go back and check that out earlier today. But Alabama survived against Texas. Big game, man. Texas played fantastic, but a big game for Alabama to survive and advance to try to continue their path to a college football playoff bid. But again, I talk more in length about that game in my post-game recap, so go check that out. Duke beat Northwestern 31-23. Interesting game here. A lot of people pick Northwestern because they beat Nebraska, but we'll get to Nebraska later, and maybe we'll see why Duke won. A lot of people picking Northwestern again, but Duke won 31-23. Kansas State blew out Missouri 40-12. That was a bad look for Missouri. Missouri does not like a very good football team. Penn State blew out Ohio 46-10. No surprise there. Penn State looking like a better football team this year. Arkansas beat South Carolina 44-30. I did have Arkansas winning this game in my previews at the beginning of the season, but I did not do a breakdown in this game. Arkansas looked good. Arkansas looks like to be one of the better teams in the SEC West this year. UTSA, Texas San Antonio beat Army 41-38 in overtime. Big bounce back win for them after they lost to Houston at the end. UNC struggling against Georgia State, beating them 35-28. UNC might be the worst 3-0 team in college football. They just looked horrible on defense. Their offense wasn't as good in this game. We'll see how good UNC is moving forward, but they just do not look like a good football team right now. But they are winning. I guess that's all that matters. But, man, against bad teams, and they're not playing well. Miami did not beat Southern Miss as much as they did against Bethune-Cookman. Bethune-Cookman, they beat like 70-13. They beat Southern Miss 30-7. So a win is a win, but not as impressive. Wake Forest went on the road and beat Vanderbilt 45-25. The undefeated stretch for Vandy is over, but at least Vanderbilt hung with Wake Forest as long as they could. Sam Hartman coming back for Wake was huge. I don't think if he was out, maybe this game would have been closer. But Wake did win by 20. But again, Vanderbilt not as bad of a team as they have been in the past. Minnesota beat Western Illinois 62-10. Minnesota's looking good. NC State bounced back and played much better than they did against ECU, beating Charleston Southern 55-3. South Alabama beat Central Michigan 38-24. Utah, Florida, Southern Utah, they were bounced back 73-70 after the loss to Florida. Temple beat Lafayette 30-14 after Temple lost to Duke. Western Michigan beat Ball State 37-30. Marshall beat Notre Dame 26-21. Now, this one, I did not watch much of this game because I was watching the other games on at that window. When I saw Marshall's winning late, I checked it out. But, man, Notre Dame, Marcus Freeman's 0-3 in his start at Notre Dame as a head coach. This is a problem. Notre Dame fans are not going to be happy with this loss. They should not have lost. Losing to Ohio State's one thing, but losing to Marshall is another thing. Notre Dame is definitely in trouble. First top 5 team to lose back-to-back games in many a years. And I can't remember the last year a team did, but it's been a while. Notre Dame, not a good look. Again, I'd have to go back and check to see how they played, to see how bad it was. But Notre Dame not looking impressive to start 2022. Appalachian State beat Texas A&M 17-14. Texas A&M, where was your offense? I don't know what's going on with Texas A&M. This was not good at all. They beat Sam Houston State 31-0, which is a little fishy that they didn't blow them out harder last week in week 1 when there was a weather delay. But, man, this was bad. A&M and Notre Dame both fall. Texas A&M is down. Appalachian State lost to North Carolina, but then goes back and beats Texas A&M. Again, big result. Cannot believe this happened. I didn't see much of this game here till the end. A&M just looked terrible on offense. This was not a good look for the SEC West with Texas A&M, and maybe could already meet. I'm not saying drop them out of the playoff, but that was not good. They needed to win this game for sure, and that's going to drop them far. That was bad. Colorado lost to Air Force 41-10. Colorado's atrocious. Clemson beat Furman 35-12. Clemson did not look very good on offense in this game. DJ is still kind of struggling, but they did win. Cincinnati beat Kennesaw State 63-10, so they bounced back after losing to Arkansas. Maryland beat Charlotte 56-21. Tua's brother played well. Memphis beat Navy 37-13, so they bounced back for losing to Mississippi State. Tennessee beat Pittsburgh 34-27. Now, I picked Tennessee to win by 7, and they did. This was a great game, but Tennessee got it done. The SEC overpowered the ACC in this one. Very good game. And Pitt's a good team. Pitt's not bad, but, man, Tennessee went on the road and won. Hendon Hooker played fantastic. What a game for Tennessee. Washington State beat Wisconsin 17-14. Now, this game right here, everybody picked Wisconsin. I picked Wisconsin at the beginning of the season. I did not do a breakdown on this game, but, man, Washington State, they barely beat Idaho, and they just went to Camp Randall and won. Bad loss for Wisconsin. Wisconsin's offense just cannot figure it out, which we'll get to another team in the Big Ten West that can't figure out offense either. Michigan State beat Akron 52-0. Eastern Kentucky beat Bowling Green State 59-57. Texas Tech beat Houston 33-30. I wanted to do a breakdown of this game, and I might have picked Texas Tech. I don't know. This one would have been a coin flip for me, but, man, Houston and Texas Tech was a really underrated game, and Texas Tech played well without Tyler Shutt at quarterback. Their backup played very good. And what a really good win for Joey McGuire in his first season at Texas Tech. Houston was ranked, too. Purdue beat Indiana State 56-0. They blew them out more than a lot of people probably would have thought. Iowa State 10, Iowa 7. Now, this game right here, Iowa can't score. It was in the rain, but Iowa can't score. I picked Iowa State to win by 3 in a close game. I think I picked them 17-14, but, man, Iowa cannot score. A lot of people picked Iowa to win because it was at home, and Iowa State has not beaten them in a long time. I think since 2014 in the rivalry game, but, man, Iowa played horrible on offense. Their defense is good, but they can't score, and it's looking like it could be a long season for the Hawkeyes. Middle Tennessee State 34, Colorado State 19. Wyoming 33, Northern Colorado 10, James Madison 63, Norfolk State 7, Washington 52, Portland State 6. Again, a bad opponent for Washington, but Michael Penix is looking really, really good for them, for the Huskies. Good win for Washington. Georgia 33, Samford nothing. Georgia's offense took a step back. Maybe they didn't show as much as they did in week 1. I didn't watch this game, but Georgia did not score as many points as anticipated. California 20, UNLV 14, good win for Cal, barely. Illinois 24, Virginia 3, good bounce back win for Illinois. The Fighting Illini beating down Virginia 24-3 after losing at Indiana in a close one. Rutgers 66, Wagner 7. Wagner must be bad. UCLA 45, Alabama State 7. UIW, I think that's Incarnate Word, beat Nevada 55-44. Coastal Carolina 31, Gardner Webb 27. Coastal Carolina does not like as good of a team this year. They're struggling a little bit. They did win, though. Holy Cross 37, Buffalo 31. Buffalo's not good. Kansas beat West Virginia 55-42 in overtime. That's funny. They scored a touchdown, then they returned it off a fumble for a touchdown. They beat West Virginia. West Virginia starting 2-0. Neil Brown's in trouble. His hot seat is getting hotter, and Kansas is looking pretty good under Lance Leopold. ECU 39, Old Dominion 21. They bounced back after losing to NC State. Miami, Ohio 31, Robert Morris 14. Florida Atlantic 42, Southeast Louisiana 9. Liberty 21, UAB 14. Troy 38, Alabama A&M 17. Tulane 52, Alcorn State 0. Ole Miss 59, Central Arkansas 3. Ole Miss got their offense together. Syracuse 48, Connecticut 14. I think Syracuse might be improved. They blew out Louisville. And they blew out UConn, so that's good. And speaking of Friday night's game, Louisville beat UCF in a game UCF should have won, and then Boise State beat New Mexico. Louisville, that's a big win for Scott Satterfield. That was a big result. Syracuse looking really good, though, beating UConn that big and beating Louisville. So that's good for Dino Babers. And Sean Tucker's a great running back. Louisiana Lafayette 49, Eastern Michigan 21, Texas State 41, Florida International 12, South Florida 42, Howard 20, Oklahoma 33, Kent State 3. Oklahoma's offense not as good, but they still won. SMU 45, LAM 16, Tulsa 38, Northern Illinois 35. Louisiana Tech 52, Stephen F. Austin 17, Kentucky 26, Florida 16. Now this game right here, I did pick Florida to win, but man, what a game, what a win for Kentucky going on there. Mark Stoops, you can't undersell this guy. I undervalued him, and they went on the road in the swamp and got done something Utah could not do. They played fantastic. Will Levis played great. Anthony Richardson did not like the star he was last week, but he is still going through, I guess you could say, sophomore struggles. We'll see if they were bounced back, but what a win for Kentucky. Toledo 55, UMass 10. Weber State 35, Utah State 7. Georgia Tech 35, Western Carolina 17. Oklahoma State 34, Arizona State 17. Oklahoma State pulled away. Arizona State played good, but then they just kind of fell apart. Oklahoma State played better on defense in this game, and their offense is pretty good. Now this game right here coming up, Georgia Southern 45, Nebraska 42. This might be it for Scott Frost. I don't know if they're going to fire him. I don't know what's going to happen, but Nebraska lost another game, a team that they were favored to win by over 20 points. This is a disaster. I don't know what's going to happen with Scott Frost, like I said, but Nebraska did it again. They lost another game that they should have won. This is bad. I didn't even watch this game. I saw the score, but man, they lost. That was terrible. Casey Thompson's a good player. They got tons of transfers from Power 5 school. I don't know what's happening. I don't know how you lose that game. It's getting worse and worse for the Cornhuskers. So hopefully Scott Frost doesn't get fired, but man, this was terrible. Terrible result. Rice 52, McNeese State 10, Auburn 24, San Jose State 16. Auburn's not looking like they're elite. Barely beat San Jose State like that. That's not a good win. It's a win's win, but it's not a good win for Auburn. LSU 65, Southern 17, North Texas 59, Texas Southern 27, USC 41, Stanford 28. Good win for Lincoln Riley. They were blowing them out, but Stanford kind of made it a little interesting toward the end. But Lincoln Riley, that was a big statement win. It at least shows that USC is at least a much better football team than were under Clay Helton with all the transfer. Virginia Tech 27, Boston College 10. Boston College looked terrible. If Virginia Tech's beating you and Virginia Tech lost to Old Dominion last week, that's not good for Boston College. Indiana 35, Idaho 22. I thought I saw Indiana down 10-0 at half. It was looking bad for Indiana after beating Illinois, but Indiana did get it done, and they turned around and won 35-22, so that's good for them and Tom Allen. San Diego State 38, Idaho State 7, Louisiana Monroe 35. Nicholls State 7, TCU 59, Tarleton State 17, and Oregon 70, Eastern Washington 14. So again, week 2 was huge in college football. A lot of big results. Alabama escaping was big, but Texas A&M and Notre Dame going down. Nebraska and Scott Frost looking like a disaster, but a lot of great games. Even Wisconsin going down, Iowa losing. A lot of big results, and I cannot wait for week 3 in college football. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, what you thought was the biggest game and the biggest result to happen and the biggest surprise that you had, and whether I got my picks right or not. Because I did pretty good on my picks. I think I went like 4-2, or at least 5-1 out of the 6 games that I did do. So I did pretty good. But I'm not perfect, no one is. But tell me how you guys thought about these games. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more sports content like this video, and I will see you tomorrow.